Hello there, Leslie here from Message in a Fold, and I have another question for you. Do you have little tiny embellishments that you just don't know what you're going to do with? Do you have a bunch of brads that are either brass colored or silver colored and you don't quite know what to do with them? I'm going to show you how to turn these into these. And I'm going to show you how to turn these into these. Right here. That one and that one. I see that these little facets, they're plastic, and they look like little gemstones with the way they're cut, or the way they've been molded, and they all have a little tab on them. You just use a nail file to sand that down. And now it's flush. So I'm going to transform them into this. So if you need something on your card or a layout, and you just have the clear, then this is what you do. You take your Versamark ink and you lay this flat side down on your ink pad and give it a squish. I think I'll use my tweezers to get it off of there. And then turn it upside down. And then turn it upside down. This is the flat side, and this is on top of its head. So put it up there like that. And let's use some, how about some silver? Give it a little pat. And a little shake. And so it'll look like that. Alright, now we need to heat this, and you might need to give this a second coat. And all you do is just put it back in the Versamark, and then you just put it back on the Versamark and then sprinkle it with the heat embossing, with the embossing powder. Now you don't want to overheat this because you will melt the plastic. Give it a moment to cool. Now the side of the facet thing will have some embossing powder on it. Just take your fingernail and it scrapes right off. It cleans up pretty easy. So there.
Oh, I have tie wraps.
You have a silver one. I have a silver one, and I have a green one. And there's a little something inside that silver. It was either on the back of the thing or it came off of my Versamark pad. All right, this time I want to use a thank you stamp set, and these are from these are labels from Hampton Arts, and I think they're from Recollections. I think I'm going to use this one that just says thanks. Get my trusty stamper here. Stamping block. Okay, and then I need some white cardstock. This is from my scrap pile of all kinds of 2x2 white, and I think this is Whisper White. And let's see, I'm going to use this Memento Tuxedo Black ink. Ink this up good. I'm going to put this down here and in the center. Try to get it in the center. All right. I find that if I hold this for a count to 10, then the ink has more of a chance to get into the paper and have a good, what you call it, thing. Yeah. It has that. I have two punches here, and they're both from Stampin' Up, and they're really old, as you can tell from their black bodies, because the newer ones are like this. Most punch manufacturers are going to this type of a punch because it takes up less space. And these I stand on their head or have them hanging on a towel rod. Okay, what I want, anyway, this one, I was thinking, and sometimes that's dangerous. I don't think this is, yeah, this is not big enough. So if I want to use this, I'm going to need to get a bigger piece of paper. And this, my other punch, is a word window punch. And for little sayings and stuff. Now that'll work. See how that's in there? I might just go on ahead and use this, but let me get it centered. Now, there is a way to use punches with these little short pieces of paper. You can create a tab or stick a piece of tape. Put a piece of tape sticking out here so you have something that you can move it around. Oh, mercy, mercy, mercy. I can't find anything. Alright, I'm going to do the same thing with this as I have with the other ones. I'm going to lay that down. And then get it off the ink pad. And I'm going to use clear embossing powder. That's the really thick stuff. Oh, here's my clear. Okay. And a whole lot of odd things showing up in my embossing powder. UFOs! And where are you? I'll probably need my pokey tool to hold this thing still. Alright, now I am going to use this punch on a piece of scrap paper. Now I need something. Oh, how about this? Yeah, I think that will work, because that'll be, yep, alright. And this is a textured cardstock. I think this is from Stampin' Up, but I don't remember, and I don't know what the color is either. But okay, so there, and then I'll put some adhesive on this. And then get this in there. Well, come on. Get that in there right. Okay, so I tried to get that in there centered around these two end things because I'm going to put brads in. For this technique, you will need to have, oh come on, what a mess, either some forceps, and these things open, but then they have a locking place back there, some little jaws, so that they don't come apart until you twist them apart. But see the little teeth? And there's teeth on that side, and then these go together and lock. Or you will need this kind of a tweezer that when you pinch it here, then the jaws come open. When you let go, then the jaws close. Either one you're going to need, and let's see, where's the pink? Of course this is going to clash like nobody's business, but I've got to incorporate the pink. This one, you don't need to pour this stuff out. All you need to do is get a hold of that business part of your brad and tap the head into the embossing ink. Get it in there good. Kind of roll it around. Now with your tweezers, you're going to pick this up by the stem, just like that. You're going to dip that head in the embossing powder and tap off the extra. And now we're going to go pretty fast, so we're going to make several coats of this. This brad head is going to stay hot. So alright, so away from the powder. Alright, I'm going to heat this. Immediately stick it in the powder and tap it off. Ow, ow. So I'm going to heat that up. Jeez. Stick it immediately in the powder. Until I have as many coats of it as I want. All right. So anyway, there's the brad head. Here is the original brad head. And then here is the brad head that's been heat embossed. Two brads, the color that I want. They're no longer just plain silver, now they're plain pink. Okay. When you do this with the heat embossing, sometimes the heat embossing gets down in here in the legs and your brad won't open properly, so you need to use a pokey tool or something to get in there and separate the legs so that they'll work properly. With your pokey tool, since you've got it in your hand, and a mouse pad or a foam piece or something, then what I'm going to do is right here, I'm going to poke the tool in and spin it around. Alright, now I'm going to do that on this side and try and get it about the same distance, and I'm always off, but that's okay. Okay, so now I have two holes, one there and one there, that the brads will go in. There's one, and there's the other one. Okay, so now I have the two brads on, and when you have a thing like this, where these brad legs are going to come out this way, and this one's, okay, come on, focus. And this one is going to be outside of the paper. You don't want that. You don't want to see that. But it will just turn it. Just turn your brad so that the legs are that way. Yay! Problem solved. Really easy. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video on changing little teeny tiny embellishments into something awesome. So dig around in your stash and bring them out and add them to your cards or your scrapbook pages. And this is Leslie from Message in a Fold saying, now you go show someone how special they are. Bye!